Welcome back. You're still with After the Bell on CNBC TV18. A hotel room aggregator, Oyo Rooms, has raised $1 billion from 4 existing investors led by Japan's SoftBank. Sources say the deal values the company at $5 billion, making it the most valuable hospitality company ahead of the Oyo Group's Indian hotel. CNBC TV18's Syna Dehnugara spoke to the founder and chief executive officer of Oyo, Ritesh Agarwal. This is an excerpt of that interview.
Oyo Hotels launched in China, close to a year back, and in this period, we today manage, close to 87,000 keys across 180 cities. We've created over 60,000 hotel jobs for the young Chinese, and of course, over 3,000 team members in Oyo Hotels in China itself. But we're just getting started for a large $150 billion opportunity that the hotel market there provides for us. So, for example, in China, every hotel that has been franchised or leased by us started at 25% or lower occupancy, and in 3 months, we are able to increase that to 65% occupancy of the assets.
You've said in the release that you're looking to put in as much as $600 million from your $1 billion raise towards growing the Chinese market. How much of this is actually going to go into subsidizing, discounting for customers in that market, and how much of it is investments in just creating that whole franchisee network that will be required for you to bring in that kind of supply, right, to meet a sort of latent demand?
Invest majority of the capital in making sure that we can bring and renovate the supply to the quality that customers will fall in love with us, which means it will involve recruiting large number of civil engineers. It'll involve putting together a very strong supply chain. So I think from our perspective, it will primarily be competency investments for supply creation rather than for distribution.
Give us a sense of where competition stands. Are you seeing Me Too's now come up? And we know how that works in China, right?
Competition is something which is fairly important to keep an eye on. In terms of competition, we compete mostly with traditional hotel chains. So in China, we compete with firms like Homins, Accor, and so on. But actually, their results are in some way a way or guidance for us to go and launch in cities. So, for example, in neighborhoods where we see that Homins are running at 95% occupancy, is the markets where we aggressively invest in.
You already have a presence in China, Malaysia, Nepal, and the UK. Are you looking at expanding further into other markets, or are you now looking at doubling down on these 5 markets that you already have a presence in?
The capital will be used to primarily double down in India and China, which are our core home markets. But I think on top of that, we will continue to see, where opportunities exist and make long-term bets.
All right. I liked how you referred to China as a home market, Ritesh. But let's talk about then your first home market, India. Tell us a little bit about where the business stands in India.
Group level, across the country, at a unit level, we've been operating at margins of above 20%, like I mentioned. So not just unit profitable, we are unit profitable with above 20%. And this is 20% is net of, this is basically the final franchise fees that we get paid. So we operate with a fairly healthy margin. In terms of growth, I think this is the fastest growth year, current calendar year that we are seeing. So 2 years back, we were growing at 1.6 times in terms of top line. And, of course, the franchise fee grew much faster. Last year, we grew by 2.3 times, and the franchise fee, further grew very fast, 3+ times in terms of growth. And we are seeing this year as well as a very exciting year where we're growing at 3 times on our top line.
So group level profitability by what time frame, Ritesh, 2022, 23 or sooner?
So hard for me to put a timeline because, Oyo has now business in multiple geographies as well.
If we talk about India?
But what I can share is we are gross margin / store level profitable, not just in every hotel in India, but actually every hotel worldwide. And we are a fixed cost business. So I think when we reach reasonable scale, we will be profitable.
Okay.